I was so unconfident that I don't even recognize that person. Like, that was not me. That can't be me. Okay, coming from a pro footballer, another tangible tip I have for confidence is Good morning! Welcome to another day in the life as a professional footballer on another off day. So I'm going to be talking about today the one skill that I think everyone in life needs, regardless of if you're a pro footballer or not, that'll actually maximize your opportunities that you get in life. And I think it will lift your well-being, and that's all about confidence. So quick confession, I haven't always been confident. On the field, I remember having zero confidence. In real life, I feel like I wouldn't even be able to order fika if you were to ask me like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, okay, I was 12. Just to get the point across, like I would overthink everything. I remember even telling one of my friends one day, I remember telling her, I was like, yeah, every time someone asks me like a simple math question of like 2 plus 2, I would need to like count it in my mind because I was so unsure of myself. Come on! Who doesn't know 2 plus 2? So I'd say there was a time in my life where confidence wasn't natural to me, but I've learned some things in the game that can help any footballer and also any person in general that wants to help build their confidence. Because I think a confident person enjoys life a bit more. Maybe I'm wrong. As I take you through my day, I'm going to be sharing things that helped me stop second guessing myself, okay? And actually build real confidence. But yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym right now. I just had breakfast, but I'm excited to take you along through another day in Sweden. Woo! Let's go! Let's do it! Also, something that's cool is that I asked a lot of my pro friends to give one tip that helped them. So I'm gonna be sharing those in this video as well and talking about them. So, got a lot of cool tips about confidence from a lot of cool people. All right, testing my mic. Let's see. Because honestly, I just want to bring you to the gym and just talk. Actually, let's just do that. So the thing with confidence is that it doesn't come overnight. So you know at training sessions, we have a camera to film our training sessions. I had the opportunity to like have that already when I was like 15, like 14, 15. They would film our training sessions, but it would only be like every other training sessions when I was at Rex. Rex is like an academy that I was part of back home, like a soccer football academy. And I remember whenever they would put the camera out, I would freak out because I'd think, oh my gosh, all my mistakes are going to be on film. And I was like, thinking back at it, that's so unconfident. Like I was so scared of making mistakes. My gosh. So I'd freak out. And obviously I'd make mistakes because that'd be the only thing I'd be focusing on. So all this to say that I really was not confident growing up, especially with football. And I think it translates to a lot of things. Like if you're not confident in life, I don't know how you can expect to be confident in football and vice versa. I think a lot of things just bleed onto each other. So, by the way, the gym session I'm doing is the same as last videos. If you want details on everything like sets and reps and all that, like it was in the last video. So, another reason to go check that video out. Already my mistake number one was my self-talk. I had no positive self-talk, and if I did, I knew I was lying to myself. So I think step number one is to be aware. And also if you're aware of them, that's when you know you can change them. But yeah, I'm just doing the warm-up right now. Quick warm-up, quick mobility before starting. And I think I've said this before, like, if you're not confident, especially as a pro footballer, it shows. It shows. The moment you start to doubt yourself, it shows. Because then you have more thoughts going on in your head, and then your decision-making is less clear. My one coach, Lynn, she would always say, l'hésitation cause l'erreur, which basically translates to hesitation makes mistakes. Like if you hesitate, you cause mistakes. So true, because the more unconfident you are, the more you hesitate, and the more mistakes you make, the more unsure you are, and then it just spirals into a downward snowball effect, you know? Also, I didn't really think this through. Like, yeah, I have a mic on, so you can probably hear me like breathing right now because I am gonna do a workout. But I think it's cool kind of like to talk things out and to give you these tips in another way as I'm doing my workout, so why not? The one thing I remember learning at a young age, and when I finally started to change my habits, is that confidence comes from competence. So your preparation helps you become more confident. Whew. Wait, let me catch my breath. I think there's like an infinity loop between confidence and competence. So the more prepared you feel, the more confident you feel. But I remember training a lot, and that really helped me with confidence. I know if I put the work in, then it'll reward me regardless. And that's with either mental toughness, that's either with a good performance, that's with better technique. So I know I'll get rewarded regardless. So that really helped me with confidence. Like it could be something simple as like getting a bit of extra touches every day, like a ball in a wall, easy money. You get extra, I don't know, 100 touches a day. That adds up over time. So yeah, competence and confidence. Also, I think confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. So, for example, yesterday, I made a promise to myself. I was like, I want to go to the gym tomorrow. If I stayed in bed and didn't follow through, I would not feel good about myself. Like, I don't know how else to say that. I would let myself down. So, the more I am held accountable and the more I hold myself accountable is something that gives me confidence. And also, thinking about it, the more tough a workout is, obviously I'm not going to make this workout tough because it's an off day and I'm smart, but the more momentum it gives me, or the more days I stack and the more days I do what I say I'm going to do, the more confident I feel because I'm like, okay, I'm that girl, you know, like I'm someone that does what they say they're going to do. And that over time builds confidence. So I've been doing this for so many years. So little by little, brick by brick, it adds up. Also, off topic, but look at my tan. Oh my God. Ooh, that soccer tan, that football tan. Another thing, I'm in the gym right now. Obviously, people are looking at me because they're like, why is this girl talking to herself? At the end of the day, who cares? Life is so short. Life is way too short to care about what people think. I mean, the first time I was doing this, I felt uncomfortable, but over time, it gets better, okay? These people may or may not see me again, so embarrassment is just in your head, right? One of my controversial thoughts is that embarrassment is a myth. Like you choose to feel embarrassed, you know? Embarrassment is just like a social construct. Anyways, yeah, so like going to the gym gives me ownership. Like there's no coach right now, there's no teammates, no comparison, no anything. It's just me versus me. I think comparison also is a thief of joy and that rids people of confidence. I don't know if you notice a pattern here. The more you focus externally and get validation from external environments, the less confident you feel. I think getting more confidence through internal validation, such as self-talk, strengths, small wins, like that's what builds real confidence and not the external stuff. Okay, coming from a pro footballer, another tangible tip I have for confidence is mastering self-talk. So I remember learning this pretty young through like a podcast I was interested in. So I remember the host was talking about self-talk, and at the time I was really struggling, and I was thinking like, okay, yes, I want to believe I'm strong, I want to believe I'm enough, I want to believe that I'm a great footballer, but how do you actually do that? So he spoke about affirmations and saying affirmations to yourself. But he also was talking a bit about a process called align and redirect. So for example, let's say if you have a poor performance, like if you tell yourself after the game, like I had an awesome performance, that's just lying to yourself. like I don't know how else to say that. Like your brain's not gonna believe that. So with the process of align and redirect, it's like, okay, align with the situation is step one. So after a poor performance, you could say something like, I may have not had the best performance. That's you aligning with it, but now you have to redirect it. So I may have not had the best performance, but I know I can have a better performance next game. So aligning and then redirecting the situation. I may not have scored tonight, but I know I can get 5 shots in the game next game. Like, for example, I'd make a bad pass and I wouldn't be able to really tell myself I have amazing passing accuracy. Like, I am a great passer because what just happened 2 seconds ago wasn't a great pass. Align and redirect. So that may have not have been a good pass, but I know I can get the next one. Because that's what everything is. Honestly, it's not like I failed. It's I'm learning from this. So it's just how can you create a positive spin and affirm yourself good thoughts. Because at the end of the day, what you think is what you become. So the more you think positive thoughts and the more you reaffirm positive affirmations about yourself, I think through time, your brain's going to start to believe it and you're going to start acting in that way. Law of attraction, everybody. One small thing actually builds momentum. If you can get one small win today, like I'm asking you right now, if you could do that today, that'll set you up for confidence, that'll set you up for momentum. And I think honestly, just it could be something so small. It could be like going for a walk, moving your body, like I don't know, something small that you do for yourself over time adds up and builds bulletproof confidence. You don't have to do extravagant things to get the ball rolling. Also, looking back at all my progress, I'm proud of myself. I wouldn't even ask for the ball on the field because I was scared I was going to lose it. Like, I was so unconfident that looking back at it, I don't even recognize that person. Like, that was not me. That can't be me. Like, there's nothing else that I want more now on the field than to have the ball. But I'm kidding. Also, don't get me wrong, by the way. There are days where I feel less confident than others. Just like days where I feel less happy than others. Kind of like happiness. I have a level of confidence that stays stable. It's just like sometimes it's above the line or below the line. Sometimes I'm happier, but like sometimes I feel other emotions, you know? It's okay for confidence to wave. Like, I would be so unrealistic if I told you that I felt really confident all the time, which I don't sometimes. Confidence is about trusting yourself and trusting that you can get through anything. Knowing that, okay, you've gotten this far in your life up to date, so that means that you can get even further. So, yeah, it comes from self-trust as well. Hi there. So, got back home, showered, ate a bit, and now I'm gonna go to fika for lunch. But something else I was thinking about in terms of confidence. I think confident people are also students of the game, and they're very curious and they always want to get better. If you're arrogant, for example, you think that you're good, yes, but you think that others suck. So you wouldn't put in the time to actually get to know your flaws because you think you're the best. If you're pessimistic, you're gonna think, okay, I suck, there's no point in learning, like I just suck. But if you're confident, you know you're good, but you're willing to get even better and to look at your flaws and to see, okay, how can I get better? So I think that's the difference between those three levels of mindsets. Hey, I'm back. Shout out to Larkin and her mom for fika. So on the topic of confidence, something that has helped me is sticking to routines. The reason why that helps, I think, is because once you have a routine, you have a sense of self-control and discipline, and that gives you a little bit of a mental edge that can help improve your confidence. So, for example, I always recommend people having like a morning routine, an intentional morning routine. Choose a habit that you like that enforces confidence. So, for example, what I like doing, I like waking up and every morning I meditate and then I journal. And I do it in a way where I feel grounded so I can attack the day. And once I am able to do these habits in the morning, I feel already a sense of accomplishment. So it's easier for me to go about my day knowing that I feel good about myself. It might not directly translate to the field, but over time you're gonna start to feel like, okay, my confidence is building up, so it will then translate to other areas in your life. But football specifically, like if you're obviously not in season, I'd say create a training schedule. I'd say stick to a training schedule and a workout schedule. The more you can have a routine, the less you're gonna rely on motivation because discipline happens whether you're in the mood for it or not. Small, consistent actions every day add up over time. That's the biggest thing. It's all a mental game, as you can see. It's all a mental game. But if you can go through life confidently, like there's so many opportunities that you get more of because of how you're presenting yourself. Confidence comes from the things you can control. So the more you focus on the things out of your control, like a coach not putting you on the starting lineup, you can't really control that. At the end of the day, you could be playing amazingly, but there are factors out of your control that will happen. Every time I feel unconfident and bad about myself, it's because I'm focusing on things I can't control, and I'm also probably doing some negative self-talk in there, in the mix as well. A good way to think about this is like, think of an unconfident person. What do? Slouch their shoulders, focus on things they can't control. So like, it's so easy to think of an unconfident person, so just flip the switch. Flip the narrative, do the exact opposite of what an unconfident person would do. It sounds trivial, but you'd be surprised about how many ideas your brain can get of, okay, how would a confident person act today? How would a confident person react to the situation? So I got a little spin on the day. I'm actually going on the radio. So live radio, live Swedish radio. So yeah, if you hear me on the radio, it is indeed me, okay? I thought it'd be cool to spice things up a bit by asking my pro footballer friends what their number one tip for confidence is. And here's what they said. They have some pretty good answers, to be honest. Maybe I should gatekeep their answers because they're so good. I asked Nelly Carlson. She's on Växjö DFF, one of our captains, and a beast. And she's been in the program for quite some time now. She said, I would say stop caring or worrying about what other people think of you. Going around worrying about what other people think takes unnecessary energy and maybe prevents you from playing your game. Preach! Besides, everyone is their own main character in their own life, so probably no one is going around thinking about you anyway. And I think that's a great way to put it. She's so cool. No one really cares at the end of the day. And I agree. Like, just stop caring what people think. That's such a good tip to live freely, honestly. So, great football tip. Next player I asked is Debbie Abiodun. We played together at Pitt. She's an Olympian. She's one of my favorite people. Really great person, great human, great midfielder, great all-around person. She's playing for the Dallas Trinity right now in the USL in the US. So she's been through a lot. Like, she's had so many great experiences in her life. So I thought it'd be interesting to hear what she says. And she said, I'll say that one thing that helps me stay confident is getting my first touch on the field, making sure I win the first tackle as a midfielder, shutting down the noises in my head and just focusing on the present moment. All my friends are poets, okay? That's so good. Like we said before, it's focusing on the controllables. So being present in the moment allows you to just play with so much freedom because you're not worried about anything else other than what's right here and right now. All right. I asked Annabelle, we know Annabelle, but she is playing for Odense in Denmark. We've played together at Pitt. She said, I feel like when things are going really well, it's really easy to be confident. But when they're not, I really think about every mistake I make. So I think maybe really focusing on the positives in trainings and in games. Like making sure to recognize when you do something good and to be proud and happy about that. So in summary, celebrating the small wins. I think this is gold too, because celebrating the small wins, you just gain momentum. Yes, you can focus on your weaknesses, but when you have your strengths in your mind, you can go into a better headspace when you work with your weaknesses. So I think celebrating small wins is a great gold nugget. Easier said than done, honestly, because it sounds cliche. It's like, why would I just be proud for something I'm meant to be doing well anyways? And it's like, no, take time to actually acknowledge, like, okay, I did something well, celebrate it. So really good. I like that. Thanks, Anna. I also asked Landy Mertz. So Landy played for the NC Courage in the NWSL, and she said the biggest thing was reminding myself that I'm there for a reason. This is good. Whether you were drafted to a team, picked up by a team, recruited by a team, whatever the case, coaches don't take players who they don't believe can get the job done and who they don't think are good enough. So I would always tell myself, I deserve to be here. I can compete at this level. Otherwise, the coaches wouldn't have chosen me to be here. And that's good. Honestly, I don't think I mentioned this before in my other tips, but that's a really good tip to know that you're worthy and to know that they picked you. You're at this job for a reason. You're in this position for a reason. You have a role to play, regardless of what that role is. So, very good piece of advice from Landy Mertz. Oh, I also asked Lara Kazandjan, my best friend, and she plays right now for FC Lens in France. So here's what she said. I would try your best to make sure that your confidence comes from internal validation and not from external validation, because you literally can't control the decisions that others make, and you have no idea why decisions are being made sometimes. So all you have is yourself, and if you don't give yourself that internal validation, then you're not going to perform and it's going to go downhill. So you need to love yourself. Wise words. A lot has to do with controlling the controllables, focusing on internal validation. We mentioned that before. That's gold. Like, my friends, man, we should have a podcast. Everyone's so wise. I also asked Samaya Firi. We trained together and played together at Pitt, but now she's at FC Nantes in France. She said, my tip is to be yourself no matter what, even in new environments. Don't shrink yourself to fit in. Be you and let your game speak. Oh, preach! Preach. Thank you, Sam. Alright, so this answer is from Amanda West. She's played in the NWSL, got loaned at Toronto for the Northern Super League, but she's played for Houston Dash. And she said, I would say what gives me confidence is that I've done this a million times. We train every day and play games every week, so knowing I put in the work gives me the confidence that it's just a soccer game and I won't allow it to be more than that. Well said, Westy. Well said. For competence and confidence, your preparation is what gives you the confidence. So, wow. Love that. Love that. Thank you. Hi, so I got another answer from Sarah Shapansky, one of my teammates at Pitt, but she's also in the NWSL right now as a rookie, doing great with a goal with an assist. And she said, my biggest piece of advice is to build a solid support system and be honest with them about how you're feeling, the good and the bad. It's equally as important to be patient with yourself. The day you plant the seed isn't the day you'll bloom into your best self. But if you keep showing up and nurturing that seed, growth and success will follow in time. Another great piece of advice. It doesn't happen overnight and it's way easier said than done. But over time, things grow. Confidence grows. Yeah, thank you to everyone, by the way, who gave me pieces of advice. Seriously, invaluable. I should have sold this advice, okay? But I'm giving it to you guys for free. No, this is good stuff, seriously. All from pro footballers, so. Not just me, we got other people here. The thing with confidence is that confidence is a skill, okay? Like, you develop confidence, so it's not like an identity trait that you live with forever if you are not as confident as you'd like to be. Just like anything, it takes practice. Alright, so thank you so much for following along today. I think we have some good tips about confidence and how this is a game changer for anyone, honestly, in life. Whether you're a pro footballer, whether you're working a corporate job, literally, I think confidence is such an important skill. A message that I have for my future kids is actually going to be sponsored by Maya Boudin.
I'm gonna tell you the quote of the day by Maya Boudin.
Maya Boudin.
And it is: solen skiner fortfarande bakom molnen. Sorry, I'm back. English. Okay, so the sun is still shining behind the clouds.
Jättebra! Peace out, everybody. Why I think this quote relates to confidence is because even on the days you don't feel confident, it's still there. Like I said, it's a skill. I think confidence is still hiding behind the clouds, and you gotta trust yourself that you can keep showing up when it's hard and when the hard times are rolling around. So to my future kids, the sun doesn't stop shining just because you can't see it. And I think that's a funny quote that Maya told me. Some days are cloudy and that's okay. You just gotta keep going. But thank you so much for following along. I appreciate all the support I've been getting recently. So let me know if you want to see anything else or if you enjoy these type of videos. I'm always open for feedback on what you guys like. I love making these videos, so it's been a fun little journey for me. But thank you so much again for following along, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Hey då!